Anti-imperialist greetings. Beautiful to be among community. Reading all the comments, super inspirational from around the country and in the world. I just returned from Haiti, the Dominican Republic. I was with the Haitian community in the Dominican Republic and in Venezuela. So I'll go country by country with an update. And so beautiful. Thanks, Julie, Rebecca. A refreshing, very vibrant view of Nicaragua, the polar opposite of what CNN and all these pro-war networks feed us all day, every day. And to see Toward Freedom's consistent anti-imperialist coverage all these decades, from the Bandung Conference through the height of the misnamed Cold War, the global class struggle, and how it played out so cruelly in Angola, in Nicaragua, in the Caribbean, and that they never contextualize that the Nicaraguan people are the true anti-imperialist heroines and heroes who continue to resist and defy empire. So in Haiti, things are very intense right now. Water, gasoline right now for 1 gallon is at $11. Bringing the economy almost to a halt. The G9, the Confederation of Nine Gangs, had blockaded gas. The main gas distribution centers are sandwiched between two massive oppressed communities, ghettos, Cité Soleil and Cité Militaire. And who was most impacted, of course, is the everyday Haitian people. So there's a massive water crisis right now in Fort National, Solino, in the everyday communities, the working class. Haiti is historically a peasant country, but because of so many years of colonialism and neocolonialism, 2.5 million Haitians have been pushed into the shanty towns of Port-au-Prince. There's a turf war, a gang war, a proxy war that is playing out. And who's trapped in the middle? It's the everyday Haitian families, many young people, and these are the types of voices that we're trying to project and translate. Many young people are trapped in this proxy war. Many are forced to flee to the Dominican Republic or try to make it to Miami. The Haitian good is at 100 Haitian goods right now for $1 US. But the Haitian people continue to understand and project that their main enemy is in Miami and is in Washington. That if Haiti were just left alone to determine its own destiny, Haiti could overcome centuries and centuries of colonialism and neocolonialism. Reparations is a main concept that the Haitian people constantly talk about. Shifting now to the Dominican Republic. Officially, there's about 500,000 Haitians in DR. Unofficially, there's, I'd say, hundreds of thousands more. The Dominican government, there's been an uptick in the xenophobic, Trump-like fascist atmosphere, extreme violence against Haitian students. There were raids on clinics in Los Minas and other popular neighborhoods where Haitian women who were pregnant or had just given birth were specifically targeted to be deported. So with the Dominican leadership and progressive journalists, we were able to go to the different jails and try to do our best to talk to the everyday Haitian people, but it's reminiscent of the Jim Crow South and of the entire USA today in terms of repression of voices. Haitians couldn't speak on camera. In Haiti Chiquito, the little Haiti of Santo Domingo and San Carlos. So it was difficult to get the voices out, these necessary voices. In the Dominican people, there's a certain, of course, I'm not engaging in any types of generalizations, but similar to white America, not all of white America, but a great chunk of working class white America, much of my family included, we've been so filled up with backwardness and chauvinism and American exceptionalism you can't talk about Haitian food and Haitian, just everyday Haitian things, culture and music and in voodooism, your Haitian spirituality in DR, because the informational war is so strong. And the way the Haitian leadership was building with me on February 7th, when the anti-neocolonial, anti-Jovenel Moise rebellion broke out, and we're going to show a clip of that rebellion now, just in the spirit of independent journalism and in a tribute to all the great work. Every semester, I give my students a list of independent media outlets, from the Gray Zone to Liberation News to workers.org, and of course, Towards Freedom is now on the top of that list. A huge part of this, Fidel Castro called it a battle of ideas, is for people to understand that Haiti's never been poor. Haiti's always been exploited. And like Nicaragua, like all of Central America, Haiti has been punished, in the words of Eduardo Galeano, not because of its poverty, but because of its immense wealth. So to actually dialogue with the Haitian American, tout Jaspoayo, the Haitian American community, Haitians themselves, and to project that Haiti has immense wealth, from the sea to the seafood, to the mountains, to the rural areas. Of course, Black Agenda Report is on the list. I just caught a comment there from a Jam. Yeah, I didn't list the whole list, but all the classics are on there. So yeah, Rebecca, we can roll that clip just to bring people on the ground. How does the class struggle play out every day in Haiti, from the times of Duvalier to the FRAP, Democrat or Republican, as the Haitians say, two wings of the same buzzard, of the same vulture. In Venezuela, the problem is the wrong people keep winning, according to white supremacy and US imperialism. That's what they can't forgive about the Bolivarian Revolution, the victory of Hugo Chavez in 1998. There's been 29 elections in the past 22 years in Venezuela. So I was there in the same capacity as Julie in Nicaragua, as an election compañero, an election companion. And to see the democracy from the humble sectors of the Venezuelan population, a country of 30 million, more than 6 million who were forced out by the 2015 Obama sanctions. And now they're heightening sanctions against Nicaragua, the stranglehold on the Bolivarian project of unity and integration. And this democracy is a people's democracy. So when you go to Venezuela, we get to visit all of the popular strongholds. I think one misconception about we can go to Haiti now, and then I'll finish up. I think it's
Here we have a march of tens of thousands approaching, and this is very symbolic of Haiti, Haitian history, Haitian class society 101. Here we have a police blockade. The police have taken their position. Nobody can pass by Del Mao, because on the other side of these massive police vehicles and this police repression, we have the other Haiti. We have the Haiti of Pétionville, the Haiti of Belleville, the Haiti of the 0.001%. So this is a very symbolic point where the police are already getting the tear gas, the bullets ready. And as we can see, beyond the smoke here, you have approaching the 99.9%, the masses of Haitian people demanding to defend the 1987 Constitution, demanding an end to the US-sponsored OAS, United Nations-sponsored dictatorships, which have continually pillaged, exploited, invaded, and occupied Haiti. I hope that these videos can reach Jaspoayo too, pour yo ka kompren situation pays ya, because a lot of Haitian Americans have stood with Biden, Trump, Obama, Bush, Clinton, in the massacres in Cité Soleil, the massacres in Bel Air. So here we have a very symbolic point of confrontation.
And how many massacres in Haiti have occurred just because the people rose up historically. As Ajama was pointing out, the demonstrations have dissipated on some level. July 7th, the assassination of this neoliberal puppet Jovenel Moise became a carte blanche for other factions of the Haitian bourgeoisie and their foreign sponsors to repress Haitian rebellion, but it's still ongoing. So just to finish with Venezuela in my last minute in 30 seconds, yeah, there were opposition candidates, opposition participation, the international delegations, the European Union was out in full force to sit down with these opposition candidates. Certainly the second kidnapping of Alex Saab, who's now confined to a jail cell in Miami and courtrooms in Georgia. We should all be aware of the Freedom for Alex Saab campaign. This was another attempt to sabotage participation. This resulted in the suspension of talks in Mexico City between the opposition and the Bolivarian leadership. 41.8% of the Venezuelan electorate participated in these midterm elections, which is much larger than often participate in US midterm elections. The opposition won 3 states, including a border state with Colombia, which is extremely important because it's through Colombia in the US's 9 military bases and the 11 illegal US military bases in Panama, and now a creeping US military presence in the neoliberal Ecuador of Guillermo Lasso, that they can surround and envelop the Bolivarian project. And that's what they're afraid of, to end with this idea of continental integration, the project of Walter Rodney, so many of our forefathers and foremothers. The future for Haiti doesn't have to go through DC and Miami. The future of Haiti can go through Caracas and Managua, in this incredible victory of the Honduran people right now. Though the US's largest military base in the continent is the Soto airfields in Honduras. So Xiomara Castro and the anti-imperialist alliance in Honduras have a lot of work in front of them, similar right now to Peru, where the class struggle is playing out in the summits of Peruvian political power. And they're doing everything to impeach Pedro Castillo, who thus far has been more of a Bernie Sanders-esque type president, quite timid because the right wing is so strong. So many are predicting that Xiomara Castro could be up against a similar type of presence in Honduras. I'll leave it there for now.